So no takedown notice for us tonight.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome to the CouncilCast, where this is episode 30, recorded on not December 12th, but apparently December 19th, 2017. The council is now in session, where, as with every week, we'll make arbitrary decisions about topics on science, technology, and random shit with little background and next to no expertise. All CouncilCast decisions are final and have no bearing on anything. So welcome to the cast, and the council is open for the first topic of science. First topic up tonight is about SpaceX launching their reused capsule and a reused rocket for the very first time to launch supplies to the space station. So the big news here is that they have finally launched. They've obviously reused a bunch of rockets before in the past. And they've also launched a couple capsules in the past, but this is the first time, as far as I know, that they've put both of them together and launched them to the space station.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. The article is talking about the cost savings currently. They pass along to the customer as well. Currently 10%-ish, they claim, and they're hoping one day to get that up to the 30%. But on these huge, extremely expensive launches, you can imagine that a 30% discount is a pretty sizable chunk of change. So,
yeah, I have no idea how much it costs to launch a rocket in the first place, but I would imagine that even a
hundreds of millions.
Yeah, 100% reduction or 10% reduction is going to be a huge dollar number for them.
Yeah, definitely.
So this is obviously going to be
$2,500 a pound.
$2,500 a pound.
An average of $57 million per launch.
Only.
So 10% is only $5.7 million.
Only.
Anthony, what are you looking at?
Google.
Let me check. Hold on.
The Internet Launch Database.
Oh yeah.
So this is obviously
what we're talking about now. Okay.
Thanks for the update from Silas. He had to go on safari to find Anthony. So this is actually a pretty cool thing. I think this is obviously going to be a big help for not just NASA, but I think other rocket company, or not rocket companies, but other customers as well, who want to be able to launch something into space for significantly cheaper than what they could do today.
Long-term speaking, it's going to put us into a place where we can explore more of outer space, or they're thinking that they can reuse from one flight to the next, so they could fly to the moon, and then we could send stuff to the moon to reload it, and then they could use.
Uh-oh, you muted yourself or something.
Me?
Yeah.
Anthony.
Oh, is he coming up through my mic? Solely?
Is.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I turned mine off so there wasn't as much feedback.
It's fun though, because when you talk, then Hangouts is like, we're gonna look at Anthony.
Well, no, Anthony looks really good on screen. Yay!
I mean, let's not get too excited.
Anyway, so I was saying, can they reuse the rocket so that it will go to the moon, and then they'll send supplies so they can, refuel, and then we can launch from the moon elsewhere? Is that what they're hoping to do?
I think it's mostly just we've reached the point where we send up various communication satellites in geosynchronous orbits and things like that on such a regular basis that just if you think about launches for defense or for commercial purposes, every single one of those they occur all the time, right? Whereas they go to the moons, they go to the Mars ones. I mean, those would be once in a decade events. Maybe moon will be more, but I think their primary goal is just getting resupply up to the International Space Station and getting new satellites put out and things like that. I mean, that's a extremely expensive operation. If you can reduce that, the only thing keeping us really from having a massive, amazing, high-powered satellite constellation that's capable of real-time, high-speed communications is just the cost of getting that amount of coverage up there. Like we figured out the protocols, we know how to do it. It's just extremely expensive to launch the number of satellites needed to, connect the world. So
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. It's it's not. I don't think it's going to get us to the Mars or the Moon any faster, but it's just going to get all of the supplies up into the low Earth orbit for the most part. And it's going to be mostly commercial people, I would say. Think about how many satellites are up there now.
Yeah, how many are up there now?
oh my god.
This is a serious question.
5.
5.
Ask NORAD.
There's probably about 1 million that we know about, and another 2 million we don't know about.
Son of a bitch! Should have sold Bitcoin. It's down to 16.5.
I told you, and you wouldn't listen.
Yeah, well, tomorrow it'll be like 25. So.
And I'll be silly.
$25.
About 2,300.
So anyway,
2 million that we know about and 2 million that we don't, and then Anthony says he found another 2,500 already.
No, 2,300. About 2,300 satellites total.
Okay.
For what? That seems low.
Well, that's the ones we know about.
Keep in mind, non-functional ones are often intentionally brought back into Earth, so it's not like they launched and they sit there forever unless they have a mechanical failure that doesn't allow us to bring them back in to burn up.
I mean, 1,300 of those 2,300 are Russian satellites.
Holy shit!
Wow.
658 being followed by the U.S. with 658.
Why do they need so many? What are they spying on? Are they spying on me?
Yeah, probably.
It's probably all potato forecasting growth. So that's what they use them for.
That's Latvia.
One for each farm.
So, yay, more rocket launches. Thumbs up.
What about the spies?
Thumbs down from Silas, apparently.
I don't like being.
Silas doesn't like science.
Silas gives the rocket's bad.
There's no air.
You can't breathe.
There's no air. You don't know.
All right, so that wraps up the science part. So the next thing is about some technology. I think that this could have probably helped Apple out a little bit when they announced their iPhone 10, but an in-screen fingerprint reader for phones. Apparently, this is coming out from Synaptics, who is probably one of the largest, I would say, maker of touchpads for laptops. And they apparently came out with an announcement saying that they are going to have a new smartphone that has a fingerprint scanner that is actually underneath the OLED display of a phone. So it would be able to pick up your fingerprint by looking through the actual display, saving you from having to have a separate button or space on the front or back of the phone for a fingerprint scanner. So the question is, does anybody care, first of all? And is this really going to be that much better? And is this going to be better than Face ID that Apple has?
Okay. The first thing I'm going to say about all of this is
super ironic that we're either going to give this a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
I mean, Apple's implementation is neat, but also extremely expensive. You don't want to just have somebody be able to hold up a picture of someone else's face.
You think anybody buying an Apple device gives a shit how much it costs?
No, but I mean, you can't say like, oh, this isn't that cool when you got face detection. Like, face detection is going to add another, $150 to a device's cost, which a lot of people aren't going to be willing to spend. So this is the type of technology that people will actually be using because it'll be more cost effective than a full infrared mapping of someone's face in real time.
I mean, they don't have to do that to do face detection. Android's been doing face detection for years.
Yeah, and you can hold up a photo to fool it, though.
Yeah.
Is this any better? Is fingerprint scanning or Face ID any better than the other? is my first question.
What do you mean the other?
Like,
People don't post
is it better?
pictures of their fingerprints.
Like Face ID is supposed to be able to pick up your depth of your face and stuff like that too, right? So that you can't just hold up a picture like you said and unlock the phone.
Yep.
Is
that's
that
correct.
any more secure than a fingerprint scanner, in theory, or not?
Not really, because my brother just was looking through all the pictures on his iPhone case, like through his photo album, and his photo album started sorting it by different people's faces. And so it's like, oh, this is a group of pictures from this person's face and this person's face and this person's face. And so you could sort through and like look through all the different people by little albums. Well, he had a mustache over football season, and it started sorting all of his mustache picture faces into its own folder.
That's how good it is. It's like, here's Silas's brother with a mustache, and here you are without a mustache.
Is that good, or like would it not let him into his phone?
So the way it works is every time they account for slow changes. So if you like are super thin because you just like do 5Ks and then you start just drinking ice cream, it's supposed to be able to be just fine because every time you scan it, it's adding what it saw new. It's like, oh, that's close enough, but I'll update my model.
Yeah, but what happens to the burn victims?
They can't get on their phone.
Son
Maybe
of
they
a bitch.
shouldn't have been on fire.
Maybe they shouldn't have caught on fire.
I know that's
There
terrible.
we go. That's the council cast we all know and love.
I think we got our title for this week.
Maybe you shouldn't have caught on fire.
Don't get lit on fire.
If you have, I mean, that's why there's a passcode backup, right? Like they make you do the passcode.
Yeah.
The
Oh, I've
murder
noticed
applies
that
to-
on my Android, despite the fact that I always use the touch to unlock on the back of it, every once in a while it asks me for a passcode, and it doesn't seem to be based on a restart of the device.
So it
With your
sometimes
pixel too?
detects your fingerprints. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'll pick it up to unlock it, and I haven't touched the fingerprint reader, and it says you need to input your passcode, and I know for a fact the phone is not rebooted or anything.
Gotcha. So it detected that you picked it up, maybe by some chance. You thinking?
Well, I mean, but normally I would just touch the fingerprint
You ever
reader.
just
and
try
I
to
wouldn't
push
unlock
the fingerprint?
Things so that you don't have to do that.
it. What?
Do you ever try to push the fingerprint thing
Yeah, I
to,
press it all the time.
I mean, to bypass the code?
Oh, it won't let you. You
Oh.
have to use the code.
That's weird.
That is weird.
Huh.
So I guess is this are you do you prefer do people think that putting the fingerprint scanner underneath the screen is going to be useful then?
I don't know.
I mean, I think it's going to be just as useful as any other thing that we have with smartphone technology right now. I mean, when the iPod came out, what was that, 2008, 7? Whenever that came out, I was like, oh, that's kind of a cool toy. And then somebody said, oh, well, next year there's going to be a phone coming out that is essentially like the iPod, but you know, you can make calls and stuff from it. And I thought to myself, that seems completely unnecessary. And I use my phone a lot. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like sitting over here saying, oh, nobody needs phones. But I really don't think that 90% of the stuff that we're doing on our phones is always super necessary. Like there are other ways that we could be doing the majority of the stuff that we're doing on our phones. And we all existed before 2005 without smartphones, and it was fine. But so is this fingerprint thing going to be more or less useful? I think it's going to be just as equally as useful and something that marketers will get really excited about.
I mean, the question is, by freeing up the phone from having a fingerprint reader on the back, does that give you more room to do like more battery and stuff like that?
The
But
question is,
I can't imagine that the fingerprint reader takes up so much space that it like really matters at all.
no, it really doesn't. But I mean, you're essentially moving it though. I mean, if you're moving it to the screen, it still has to be underneath the screen. So there has to be something there. I think the interesting thing is that they are talking about having this be like possible. Like right now, they're saying that this is going to show up kind of at the like in the more or less the bottom portion of the screen. They can't do the fingerprint scanning over the entire part of the screen yet. And what it'll do is apparently the OS will prompt you for a fingerprint by showing you a little image of your fingerprint so that you can put your thumb on the screen where it's giving you the little picture. But they're talking about being able to expand it to be able to pick it up on anywhere on the screen. So you could literally tap your phone at any point on the screen and it would be able to pick up your fingerprint, which I think is pretty
I guess.
cool.
That'd be cool.
But that seems to me just like a marginal convenience, I guess. Like it's not. I don't feel the need to touch anywhere on the screen to unlock my phone. Like it on the back is just fine. I don't. And on the front, on the iPhones, was just fine too.
I never had an iPhone with the Touch ID, but I imagine that it's a little precarious when you're holding a larger phone, though, versus one that's on the back. Unless you hold it with two hands.
My hands are big.
Matt has big hands. So, fingerprint reader underneath the screen display, thumbs up or thumbs down.
I don't care.
Indifferent? Sure.
I mean,
Happy
yeah, it's
indifferentness?
like an incremental upgrade, I guess. Incremental upgrade.
New technology.
If we didn't have an incremental upgrade, how would we be able to, buy another phone next year for no reason?
Oh man, Silas actually made a really good point there.
That is, yeah, I suddenly understand.
Your rebuttal? Sure.
I have no rebuttal. I would like to buy another phone.
That's what I thought.
Next year's phone will cost $1,200 with a finger scanner under the screen.
Well, with it being under the screen, wasn't also part of the update that it can detect your fingerprint even if it's wet.
Your banner just says Anthony Simon thumbs up. What are you gonna do? Stab me? Man, who got stabbed?
Being able to detect your fingerprint even when it's wet, I think, was also part of their upgrade.
Yeah, I often need to be unlocking my phone when my finger is super wrinkly from a bath.
Dude,
what if
you don't even know until you have kids? Your hands are always wet.
Gross.
That would be amazing.
That must be the target audience for all of this. Is how can
parents are the target audience
of their kids?
Dude, I mean, I could not imagine having to type in a passcode. Like you're holding a kid, you've got like shit in your hand, and you're like, oh god, I'm just gonna replay the text like fingerprint reader. It's amazing.
Oh my god, my kid just threw up on my phone. I need to take a picture of this.
Well, hopefully you're more classy than that, right?
No way, dude. /r/trashy.
Well, if Apple does put this under the phone screen and they do start charging more money for it, they could at least buy some more companies like Shazam.
What do you mean if they do charge more money for it? Of course, it's going to charge more money for it.
When they charge more money for it, how about that?
Well, they're running around saying that Face ID is going to be their new standard forever once they get.
They're going to drop Touch ID.
They seem to be indicating that future product lines will not support Touch ID.
What if I don't want to look at my phone to unlock it?
Too bad. It'll be the new
Then
thing.
put in a passcode.
You're right. That is more convenient. Too bad is nice. I like that.
Once you're like about to get beat by the police and they're like, take out your phone, and you do, and they're like, unlock it, and you're like, no, Mr. Policeman, and then your face is like, I got it for you. And like, oh no.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, oh, this is an iPhone that uses Face ID. You're like, punch me, bitch! Punch me in the face!
Pops up and says, I see you're trying to unlock your smartphone.
Jesus.
Completely random aside, biometrics are not covered by the Fifth Amendment against self-incrimination. So
Right.
your phone can be seized by a police officer, and you are not legally required to give up a passcode. But if it is
Use a
fingerprint,
passcode is something you know.
yep, if it's fingerprint or your face, you can be compelled by a peace officer to unlock your phone with one of those items.
Oh, see, this is why I gotta get rid of my fingerprint.
There's a trick on the iPhones where if you rapidly press the power button a bunch of times, it'll change it to, if you have Touch ID enabled, it'll change it to like you have to use pin mode. So that was one of the things that you could do in the instance where when you're getting pulled over because of your like 3 pounds of coke that you have in your car, you could just
The phone is the thing to worry about at that point.
I always tell people, if you're concerned, just reboot it. You can just press and hold the power button
Yeah.
until it reboots. Because all phones, if you
I
simply
guess
press and hold the power button, will
if I'm
will
doing
self-reboot
stuff
after a
that
period
makes
of
me
time.
worried that a peace officer is going to compel me to give information to unlock my phone, I think I'd have a burner flip phone for that, probably.
I mean, the real concern is like, I mean, Trump's border control agents have kind of gone full crazy
I don't know
and
anything about
have been compelling people to unlock their phones for no reason. Just like, I don't like the skin, the tone of your skin. Unlock your phone at the border.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, Apple bought Shazam this week.
Okay.
So is this going to make Siri good now?
No,
Why would that make Siri good?
theoretically it makes sense because the technology used to listen to what's actually going on around the space of the phone is really, really solid, because you can just hold it up in Walmart and it hears a song and it's like, oh, this is what it is. Here, you can buy it. Ta-da! Shazam! I say Shazam every time I use the app, but
I've literally
the
for you.
issue is that Siri still has to be able to think of an answer then, and unless they start programming
I don't
in
think
smart
Siri's
things,
problem is hearing what you said. Siri's
Right.
problem is she's in special ed.
that's
This is special.
one way to put it.
I mean, she is only connected to like 4 data sources, so
And she's trying to operate on 3G.
Usually,
Like, I feel similarly to Siri about how I feel about my Amazon Echoes. Is that, like, they're really nice for doing something very specific, like controlling a light in your house or something. But if you want to do something more complicated than that, they're like,
I can't.
we know that you killed Lois.
I mean, it does make me just full of rage because I get used to asking Google for everything. Like, when does this open? When does this close? Right?
Google
And
is
so
ridiculously
I'll
good.
be like, Alexa, what time does Lowe's close? And she's like, Lowe's is a store that sells tools. And you're like, oh God, why?
That is exactly what happened.
It's like, thank
Instead
you.
of saying, "Hey Google, what time does Lowe's close?"
SoundHound.
I use SoundHound.
Dude, SoundHound is way better than Shazam.
I've always thought so.
And honestly,
No,
Google's
wait, hold on, everyone. That's the app that I use. I thought SoundCloud was. I thought that
No, SoundCloud
SoundHound.
is also something different.
I thought SoundHound and Shazam were the same thing.
So
They're
you just
not.
say Shazam.
They're competitors.
So you use SoundHound and you're like, Shazam! And people are like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
Really say
usually.
bark, bark.
Have you guys used the
Sponsored by
Google
SoundHound.
one? Because the Google one now is on point as well. They can get matches faster than any of the ones I've ever seen.
Oh, everybody's wearing headphones. I was hoping somebody's Alexa or Google Home was going to activate.
It would not hear
Yours could.
my TV. Or my computer.
Mine could, but I'm upstairs.
What a loser.
Okay, Google. Oh, it says that I didn't say it. I didn't say it with my own voice. So I just threw the password.
The best part is that Google purports to do all the stuff. It's like, oh yeah, use your own voice and stuff. And we'll be at work, and I can say it and trigger Sullivan's.
Yeah, Matt can trigger my OK Google detection anytime, anywhere. I've just completely shut it off to keep Matt from saying like something like,
the first time I did
let's walk over and Moodle. And Google's like, what'd you say?
The first time I did it, I think you were like, what? Why?
Does your phone not have to be on? Did it not have to be like?
I allowed it from the lock screen, which was apparently a bad choice.
I mean, I also allow it from the lock screen.
We work at a company where Google happens to be the platform we use for 80% of our product, and so we're constantly saying the term Google, and it's just like ding.
Dude, I feel like my Alexa has gotten worse. Like, as far as detection, like I'll say something that isn't even close to her trigger word, and she's like, "Hello, can I help?" And I'm like, "No."
Dude, Miles let out like some wail, and Alexa was like, "Can I assist you?"
She was just being helpful. Her motherly instinct was triggered.
You're like,
You see, I think that my Google Home is worse than my Alexa though, because sometimes we'll be sitting in the other room and then all of a sudden the Google Home will just say, "Ding ding, I don't know what you said," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"The fuck."
Yep, absolutely.
I was not talking to you at all.
Have you guys seen advertisements on TV for Alexa? It triggers your Alexa, and you're like, surely, why did they not make? Because mine are right next to each other. I was like, why not make a thing that like doesn't do that? Like, surely that's not that hard.
So the thing is, I was watching a commercial actually about Alexa, and it did that, and it said Alexa, and then it turned on my Alexa, but then it played a sound, and it played like that Alexa noise, and then the Alexa shut off right away, like it stopped listening.
Oh,
So I was wondering if Amazon maybe built in like a key tone that shut Alexas off, so that they could still run the commercial without triggering buying them.
that would be smart.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Shazam!
Pedantic.
Did you give the thumbs down to the Shazam purchase?
Apple buying Shazam.
Soundhound.
I don't take Silas's opinion seriously. He just learned about this 30 seconds ago.
Yeah,
I realized you didn't have Shazam.
I just so don't care.
He's never used it.
Yeah.
Don't care.
Speaking of TV, though, T-Mobile has apparently bought the Layer 3 TV service. I don't even know who the hell Layer 3 was and that they had a TV service until I read this
Layer
article.
3 was
It's separate.
a provider of like
DNS.
Not the layer 3 that you're thinking of, Matt.
Yeah. Totally different Layer 3. Apparently they were in, what do I want to say, Colorado, I think it was?
Yeah, Denver area.
And they apparently had what appears to be an online TV service, and T-Mobile says, "Yep, I think we want to buy that, and we're going to launch our own TV service most likely because John Laguerre says why not." So, I mean, I think T-Mobile's obviously been pushing a lot of like online streaming and a lot of included streaming services with their plans already. I mean, I have no idea how legit this Layer 3 TV service is, but I mean, they seem to be doing something. And
In this model, where does layer 3 fit in?
between 2 and 4.
Between the core layer and the distribution layer?
I hate you.
I mean, the thing I want to know is if this service is going to be specific to just T-Mobile customers, or are they going to allow this service to anybody who wants it?
Dude, I got like 4 or 5 other streaming services I use. Why do I want theirs too?
Do you want live TV? I mean, that's really the.
I guess I don't. I mean, the only thing I want live TV for is for sports.
I suspect that T-Mobile will probably keep it for themselves, but there's plenty of other options for the people who do want to just do TV a la carte over internet. DirecTV is getting in that game now. Sling's in there.
Mm-hmm.
There are others.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of think that, you know, if it's following the same model that Verizon and AT&T are doing, is that they're probably going to keep the TV service to themselves and then exclude from their wireless plans. But I think that T-Mobile is a little bit smarter than that and will probably open it up to more people. But to Matt's point, I mean, where am I going to use another TV service or even another online service? There's another 4 live
already pay for HBO Go now, whichever one is the one that I pay for.
Mhm.
I already pay for Hulu. I already pay for Netflix.
Yeah.
And Amazon Prime Video.
And Amazon Prime Video. Like, do I really need another service on top of all this?
And the thing was, I started paying for these subscriptions because I was like, I don't want to pay for cable. And now I pay for more subscriptions than cable is worth.
But the quality is higher.
I definitely do not pay more than the cable subscription would cost me. Like, the cable subscription with everything that I want, I'm not paying more than that would be. Or the DirecTV or Dish equivalent of it.
Yeah, you're wanting out of it. But, I mean, I like it because you can kind of watch it anywhere, though. There are benefits to the live TV over the internet versus live TV in your home.
Well, like I said, the only thing I need live TV for is sports.
I forgot Hulu's doing a live TV thing too now. So if you have a Hulu subscription like we do already, you can add live TV to that now for not very much.
Does Hulu detect where you are when you're watching?
Yes.
because I was watching the Orville, and at the bottom right hand of the screen, it put Des Moines Fox Network logo down there,
Yeah.
and I was like, "What?"
It was filmed in Des Moines. You didn't know
It
that?
must do that by region, I guess. I'd never seen that on Hulu before.
Like Hulu's offering, so I think on MediaCom isn't like 40 a month to just get cable, or like 35 or something.
I
That
have
sounds
no idea.
about right. But
But
for
you gotta-
40 a month, and I already get the Hulu for $12 a month that is commercial free. For 40 a month, you get their full online TV lineup, which has like every station I can imagine.
Mhm.
Unlimited access to the library and everything, like the full series, anything that Hulu has in their stuff, at 2 screens simultaneously streaming with 50 hours of cloud DVR service.
We're talking about
Yeah.
Hulu.
So I'm actually subscribed to the Hulu TV, live TV service right now.
Oh, nice.
And we started off. We had actually tried a DirecTV Now for a while, which actually worked pretty well, but it was missing some of the channels in our area. And when Hulu launched theirs, kind of the same boat you were in, we were already paying for Hulu the way it was, and by paying for another service on top of that, we essentially saved ourselves the $12 by going to the Hulu Live subscription, because it rolls in the back catalog stuff as well. I think you do have to pay an extra $2 a month to keep the or $4 a month to keep the no commercials part of it. But you do get the cloud DVR backup, and then you still get all the back catalog stuff for most of the stuff, most TV shows.
I mean, dude,
And it has all the sports channels
Hi,
you
Patrick.
want. So
lately, if Netflix didn't have such good originals coming out that I keep watching, I would probably not even have Netflix anymore. And I think they know that, which is why they keep producing originals that are just kick ass. Like,
We lost a lot of licensing with other shows that I used to watch on Netflix.
well, that's what if I want to watch like American Dad or Family Guy or any of that shit, I have to go to Hulu now.
well, actually, and that's why we like Hulu too, because it's backed. You have a little bit more backing by other cable providers, because Disney's going to be buying into over 50% of controlling interest there. But they have Fox and Disney. I think NBC and everybody is included in that partnership, so you tend to get a lot of more of your live TV content there.
Yeah, Hulu was founded by those stations, like as a big
Right.
partnership thing, and then spun off. So they're willing to play ball with all the bullshit that that those providers put on them. But we can see Pat now, who also has a kick-ass Christmas tree and alcohol set up, apparently. I'll have you know the holidays make me drink too.
Right on, man.
Why, Silas? Why does your banner say /r/strategy?
It is a throwback to earlier.
So, thumbs up or thumbs down to T-Mobile? I'm going to say thumbs down because I don't need a new TV.
I
don't care what y'all think. More competition is always better for us.
I guess.
Yeah. Thumbs up.
Competition.
Yeah, vote, Pat. You're here now. You have to vote.
I don't know what I'm voting on, dude.
That's
It
okay.
doesn't matter, bro.
Just know that I'm right and the other man's wrong.
My default's a thumbs up.
All right.
I just can't figure out why Sullivan hasn't sponsored us yet.
I forgot.
Why watch TV when you could eat?
Hold on.
Not Doritos.
Oh, you know what it's gonna be. Doritos, Cool Ranch, Loco Taco. Who needs TV when you have that? Really?
That's progress right there.
Yeah.
What's progress is
Sweet banner.
so Target bought. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but they bought Shipped. I don't even know who Shipped was. But they
Like I shipped my pants.
they like you shipped yours. Absolutely. But they bought this online or a same-day delivery service. So I'm assuming to kind of compete in the same market that Amazon is.
Ooh.
Same-day delivery, but
Except
now
maybe I will be able to get same day delivery because I have Targets.
Yes, exactly. So this should hopefully, in theory, I don't think we have many details yet, but it would allow same-day delivery from what I would assume is going to be most Targets.
I'm gonna vote right now. I'm thumbs up. We're a Target red card user, so
I don't know. See, the thing that I haven't.
Target customer.
That is admirable, but one thing that Target doesn't do a very good job of, and that's enforcing always low price.
Get that shit out of here. No, dude, Target's legit.
No, dude, Target's legit, and yeah, this is like fantastic.
A good deal. I like it.
Good deal.
I don't even need any more discussion. I definitely want same-day delivery from Target.
I'm gonna become like this is actually the worst news on earth for somebody like my wife, because when she goes to Target, she gets this like it's Pat,
Yes,
Pat is like,
yes.
oh my god, I can speak. To this.
How many times have I heard? I went in for diapers. I spent $250.
you're like, on what? She's like, I don't know, just stuff.
My wife just loves Target. She loves being there. She loves the experience, being able to browse. But then they also have the Starbucks, right?
Yep.
Heaven forbid that this service delivers you a fresh mocha cappuccino or whatever.
Anything from Target, baby.
Yeah, like we're done. My entire take-home gross will just go to this service.
Frappuccinos and shit.
Well, just general Target business.
So that's a good point, though. You said that if your wife likes being at the store and just browsing around, though, is she going to be okay with just browsing around on the web store, though?
No. We actually, like, oh, man, we're busy. We just need this one thing that's local and we can get it same day. Yeah, we'll buy it, right? Like, if only I had a couple items, whatever.
Wedding
No,
gifts.
she enjoys, like a wedding, things like that. She enjoys the
Registry item.
experience of shopping at Target. And that's really the only place. She
I
doesn't
don't
enjoy getting
consider-
groceries.
I don't
She
consider
loves
that
Target.
much like Target that much of an experience to go be had. It's just given the choice between it or Walmart. If I need to go get something, I would rather go to the place that is clean.
Let's consult the married men here, and let's just
They go for the
thumbs up or thumbs down. Does your wife consider Target an experience?
thumbs up.
Yeah. So
What the hell?
Dude, it's the squirrel syndrome experience.
I don't know what that is.
If you're walking down an aisle and you know exactly what you're going to, and all of a sudden, ooh, like left, right, I can't move 10 feet without stopping.
Without
Like
needing
you do at
something?
Cyclone Liquors, Matt. Just to put it into
I
perspective.
can do the same thing in Target. I'm just standing in the $5 movie aisle when I'm doing it.
Right. Well, they've reduced their selection.
I know, it's actually kind of depressing.
It
I
is.
noticed that when I was in there last time.
Now imagine if your $5 movies were the entire store. Now, a woman.
You're right. I think I can relate now.
The thing is, in our relationship, my wife is the person that knows what she's going to get, goes in, gets it, and walks out, and I'm the one getting distracted the entire time while we're walking around Target. Well, it literally doesn't matter if we're walking around Target or Walmart or a sewer system. Like, I'm going to
Casey's
get
gas station.
very excited about all the things around me. So
let's analyze for a second. This is a photo, right, of just a standard Walmart setup. Like, this is what the Ames Walmart looks like, right? And the floor is always that polished concrete. They really stuff the shelves together. It's usually very busy in the beam area, right? And now we take a look at Target. And this is just the first photo when I Google Walmart aisle and Target aisle, to be clear. That's all this is. Let me switch. Oh, man, it's not going to do it. Oh, no.
You need to close your overlay and open it again.
All right, let me do that. Close overlay, open again. Not happening. We'll share a screen. Here we go.
We're going to do it live.
There's embarrassing stuff.
We're doing it live. Boom. Look at that. Look at that, right?
That's a
in
different
comparison.
aisle. You're not looking. You're looking down like the main
No,
drag, not
But all of
the
Target
aisle.
looks like that. All of Target does.
Matt, you realize
God.
the Hy-Vee that's by my house, they changed it. They changed the layout of all Hy-Vees going forward to match what Target does, where they split it like that, and they all have an end display in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can tell. You go to the new Hy-Vee, like the one next to Anthony, you walk in, feels like a Target. You go to the old shady ass one in West Ames, you're like, oh man, I'm in Walmart so bad right now. Like, there's the thing. I don't know how they pull it off. It's the thing.
I mean, you even showed it. It's the clean look, even just in the rafters. It's open beams versus a finished ceiling. It's a finished floor versus polished concrete.
I think it's really the floor, that polished concrete versus the nice, like white, pure pearlescent white tile. Like that's really a big difference, I think.
I feel like am I the only one that like prefers the polished concrete look? Like that's more my
It's
style.
very utilitarian.
Yeah, I like that.
I walk into a Walmart and I feel like I'm in a warehouse. I walk into a Target and I feel like I'm in a decent department store.
Dude, I wanna be in a warehouse, I guess. That's where I'd like to shop.
No frills shopping. No frills. Get what you need. No frills.
No
Dude,
frills is a grocery chain.
It
As
is. I
an
know.
aside, like that is why Aldi, right? Like if I just like I know what I want, I don't
Well,
want to
Aldi
be
is
here
like,
for 3
"Here's your
minutes
shit."
or more. It's amazing. It is the get your shit and get out of here store, and I love that. Right? Like I'm a man. I want to go shopping. I want to spend. The number of minutes should be countable on one hand, right? Like the entire transaction from the moment you enter to when you leave should be countable on one hand, you know, and that is Aldi, right? They give you 3 aisles to choose from. They're like, oh, do you have a shopping cart? And you're like, oh, can I have one? They're like, no, pay us first. It's 25 cents, right?
And at that point, you're like, "I'm a man, I'll carry it all."
Yeah, that's what they want you to do. They want to embrace that masculinity.
Aldi, the man store.
Silas got the no frills up. That's
You get the no frills chain?
super
Yeah.
dang. I don't know why. It just gives me like the look of like welcome to no frills. Careful about the E. coli.
Do bananas have E. coli?
I think
I'm sure
anything
they
can have
can.
E.
just
coli.
no frills does.
Man, I can't wait till we get our cease and desist.
No one watches.
I think the good thing is that Target has the distribution network, I think, as good as anybody else out there to be able to do this. Plus, they've got grocery and tech and everything else that you could imagine from a store. I think the biggest
Sometimes they didn't have coax ends when I needed them. I had to go to Walmart for that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised Walmart had that even, honestly.
They have Walmart has weird stuff, man.
They've been thinning out some of that more like odds and ends tech stuff though, especially in like some of the bigger ones. The super centers have that stuff. Like the store near my parents, they don't even have basics anymore. Like I needed a coax splitter. It was like, good luck.
Yeah.
But I think the hardest thing is just how do they translate that in-store experience that everybody's talking about to their online shopping experience as well?
I mean,
Because
people-
their website is
If
not.
I'm ordering it to be delivered same day to my house, I'm not after the Target experience. I'm after I want my shit today.
It's I've got
Yeah.
3
And I don't
crying
wanna leave the
children at
house
my
to do it,
house,
right.
and I'm not going to the store right now. But we need this wedding present for tomorrow, and I'm going to buy it and have it shipped here today.
And the biggest thing too is that I think that it's going to put them. It could push them ahead of where Amazon is at with these.
For us,
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, for a lot of different places though, because there are more Target locations than there are Amazon and locations that ship things same day.
yeah.
Mhm.
So there might be an opportunity for them to push ahead in like
Is it going to be
huge
up to
competitors.
individual Target location to buy into the delivering same day service?
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about.
Don't think we know enough.
Because the Amazon places that do same day delivery are only like the places that are like warehouse locations, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or major cities where they just stock a lot of the common goods. Like my other friend
like-
Matt. 'cause
Oh,
all of our
like a
friends are
warehouse?
not, but it's not a warehouse, right? Like an
It's
Amazon warehouse
Not
has
a-
a ton of stuff, but Chicago has just like a lot of things. So like
A selective warehouse.
it's a very small selection. But no, so my friend Matt, I mean, he wanted to build a computer. He didn't want to wait on the parts. He was like, I just want a computer. Like, I want to build one tonight. Like, I just want to do that. And he selected his hardware based on the availability of same day shipping to his door. Like that, and that's whatever. That's what he wanted. He wanted a computer right then.
Wow,
So-
Target has way more locations than I thought.
I mean, I think it's going to be an interesting scenario because unlike Amazon, where they have to have a warehouse or enough goods stocked because you can buy anything on Amazon, if you go onto Target.com today, you can probably find out if that item is in store or not.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the type of thing when I was like
The only thing they're
deathly
missing
sick,
is
laying on the couch, and I'm like, I want an ice cream, and I don't want to go anywhere for it. Like, Target, deliver me ice cream, and then they bring me ice cream.
Well, and right now, Hy-Vee, a Midwest grocery store chain, can do grocery delivery
But that-
within 24 hours.
Yeah, that shit ain't same day.
It's not same day, but I'm saying if Hy-Vee can do 24-hour delivery, then Target, which is a much larger corporation, should figure out the ability to do same-day delivery, even if they just employ one driver from each Target store for your area. Like it's essentially the same thing where they're just driving to and from the store all over town. If they employ a couple of drivers, I don't know exactly what their model is going to be, but
It'll be
they
interesting
could do
to
it
see.
from the store.
I'll be curious to see what people are willing to pay for this convenience. You know, I
Yeah.
presume it won't be free. I'm very curious
have
to
a
see.
red card probably.
I was gonna say maybe red card users, fingers crossed.
I can imagine them doing some sort of like Amazon Prime type thing where it's like a red card plus. You get some additional benefits, and this is one of the things where they do same day free for a membership fee. Because oh my God, that if like it's like, yeah, red card plus people, $80 a year, and you get
Free
some extra
Starbucks
stuff.
on your
Free
birthday.
Starbucks every time you visit. You get one free Starbucks drink on us.
That would be ridiculous.
Or would it?
Yeah.
And
Target every
same-day
day.
shipping.
I
I'm
don't go to Target 80 times in a year.
If they came out with that promotion at like $200 of your membership, like Kayla would be like, "Well, I just did that now. Sorry, goodbye, $200. Goodbye, it's gone." Like, I'd be right behind her. The ability to just be like, "Oh God, I wish we had this thing. And I don't want to go out and have it show up my door that day." Okay. I mean, I'm moving to Portland, Oregon, so I already have this ability now. Like with Amazon, I can just be like, "I want toilet paper," and some poor schmuck is going to deliver me toilet paper for no reason. So that's pretty cool. Looking forward to that.
You're just gonna yell from the bathroom, just throw it inside.
Can you bring it to the door?
The
Got a
next
20 for you if you bring it in.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Even more if your wife.
I really fucked up this time.
The next day thing though is really like you have it planned out. That would be your toilet paper, right? The same day service is really like a hankering, right?
Oh yeah.
It's like I got a hankering for whatever.
Is it hankering though? Or isn't it just like, oh God, I just need a cable and I don't want to go out? Like I've already mentally been like, I'm just gonna relax and do nothing today, and you just realize that to get your new thing set up, you need like.
Oh, that's like an introvert's fucking dream. Like if you've decided that you're you have like this time blocked off where you're just like, I had planned to stay inside all day, and then you're like, ah, crap, I need a USB cable. Now I gotta ruin my entire day by leaving the house to go get it.
No,
Let me-
it's a service that brings you a USB cable and takes away the jars of pee that you've been filling around your desk.
That sounds, and they'd probably recycle the jars.
Bring you fresh ones.
I mean, let me rephrase this to see if Matt is interested in the service.
Being in a jar and not in your toilet.
So Matt, you're like, oh man, I want to see this Blu-ray, and you can buy the Blu-ray, and it shows up into your house under 2 hours later. You're like, you're doing that, right? Introvert's dream. You just want to watch this movie and do nothing else on Saturday, and the Blu-ray ready to go shows up your house.
Guys, we need to be quiet. I think we have something here. We need to keep this a secret, all right? Like, bring the popcorn, bring the toilet paper. I mean,
All right, everyone mute, and we'll keep talking about this so that we're off the record.
we're all going to be millionaires
Off what?
off of introverts, Matt.
Oh,
Like you.
See, for me, this would be really nice because our nearest Target is at least 15 minutes away. And so if I'm going to Target, it's going to be 15 minutes to get there. It's going to be a half hour to walk around the store because it's Target, and then another 15 minutes to get back. I've already invested an hour into going there. If I can just sit at my house and just say, oh, crap, I forgot this, and I need it today yet, and it can be delivered same day, perfect. Then I don't have to go anywhere to do it. I don't have to go do the whole dog and pony show at the Target store.
Yeah, and Targets are never accessible, man. They're always in like the jam-packed, busy area. It's hard to get in there.
They already have ours set up with all the cones for all the holiday shoppers. It's been like that for a month, so it's impossible to get in and out of the parking lot now.
I think, and even thinking like more to Pat is with kids. It's like, do I really want to get 3 kids ready and in the car just to go get that DVD or that cable from Target because
No, ain't nobody want that.
Right. So it's like, oh, I can pay $50 a year to just have this service. So when I'm watching the kids, I don't have to leave the house. You're like, hell yes.
I like the Tom Cruise, by the way. Dude, like, right, like 3 kids aside, I've got one, and it's like, oh god, I don't want to leave the house. Like, we have nothing. You open the fridge, it's empty. We're like, we're gonna starve to death, and it's like, leaving is gonna be a huge thing. We can't leave. We can't get the car seat and like time with the naps. And like, I can't even imagine with 3 children. I would just shut down and be like, you can feast on my body, and I'm just gonna.
I haven't been to Target in 3 years.
Yeah, so like services like this for parents, that's like just margin right there.
Yeah, right on.
Thumbs up for that. I'm giving it.
We're done. Discussion over.
All right. Last topic is if you wanted to have something delivered, would you prefer to have it delivered by UFOs and aliens?
Yes.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't think that was an article that we sent
Are
out.
they delivering it up my ass?
He's doing a segue.
We have segues now?
Sweet.
That's part of being on the cast.
Nice.
Part of being the council.
That's a great perk.
The Pentagon has been, they have admitted that they have been investigating UFOs for at least the last 5 years.
Oh, only the last 5?
Or at least from 2007 to 2012, and they had an annual budget of $22 million.
Yeah, this is a Harry Reid thing, right?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
It was.
Who knows, dude?
It was less like looking for UFOs and more like. My understanding from the article was some of the concern was like, does Russia and China have
alien
vehicles capable like so some American Air Force pilot is like, I saw a vehicle in front of me that I've never seen before and behaved like no other thing I've ever seen before. It's worth knowing if that's an adversary fucking around in our airspace, right? Like, don't think for a second we totally didn't do that when we were like, hey guys, we came up with the B-52 and it doesn't show up on radar. Go ahead and buzz the tower at like Mach 2 and just watch them all be like, what the fuck, right? Like, we absolutely did that, right?
Just to let you know, a B-52 does not do Mach 2.
I don't think it does either.
You're such a nerd.
Yeah, airspeed of that.
B-52 is absolutely not the vehicle I was thinking of. What's the one that's all radar reflecting? B-2, okay.
Or the
Thinking of the B-2 Spirit, not the B-52.
Yes, I was thinking of the B-2 Spirit. Thank you.
Also, you should look at the top speed because I'm
It's
going
only
for
628. Wow.
Mach 2.
Oh no, you're right. It's the B2. That's the one I'm thinking of too. I thought it had a different name.
Still, that thing like don't show up on radar.
How do
Right?
they go like this? Actually.
So the first thing I've seen pictures on, obviously everybody has. The first time I saw one in real life, it looked like something I had never seen before.
Oh, they are. They look like they're straight out of fucking Star Wars.
It is like a boomerang flying. It's just
Yeah.
I mean, wasn't that one of the ones that was developed at like Roswell, New Mexico? Like,
Groom Lake.
that and the Nighthawk, the F-117.
F-171.
also, as a complete aside to any of this discussion, could you imagine buzzing a tower with an SR-71?
I have some stories for you.
Are you gonna tell me the speed check story? Because I can't wait to hear it again.
So the speed check one is great, but the even better one is the one where somebody asked the guy what's the slowest you ever flew the SR-71, and he basically stalled it out above a bunch of cadets.
I saw, I've read it. Yeah, they honestly thought they were going to kill all those cadets, and then it just happened to not crash, if I recall the story.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
So aliens, they're probably not around with us, but the government.
Oh no, they definitely are around.
I mean, Matt Lorimer's here. So.
Yeah, great. My full name.
Sorry. We've said it in like every episode at this
It's
point.
fine.
You mean Lord Mordor?
I have many leather-bound books. People know me.
No, I could see there being extraterrestrials living amongst us. I've seen Men in Black and Men in Black 2. And
True story.
I've also watched Home Alone Lost in New York. So I know that there are aliens on
Hold
Earth.
on.
Lost in New York. Yeah, there are a bunch of weirdos in that movie. You
What
know
about
that
Star
one of them
Trek?
going to be an alien. Say what?
So what about Star Trek?
What
The
about Star Trek?
documentary. Isn't it a documentary?
No.
I thought that it was.
All right, ET, aliens, UFOs.
ET thumbs down.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what we're voting on.
I have a question for you guys, real quick, before we end this extraterrestrial discussion. Nice. So, at what point is it just like, oh my god? Like, is it that we find bacteria on another planet and we're like, holy shit, there's life? Or is it like it has to be mice running around on another planet? You know, mice type
No.
thing. Like, what's the point at which we just like lose our minds and we're like, oh my god?
Little green men.
Any evidence of actual life living elsewhere?
Yeah,
Right.
like my face will melt off if we find microorganisms on another planet. Like
Are you saying with excitement or with out of fear?
excitement. I mean, I don't.
I'm not afraid of the microbe on Mars.
Yeah, I don't necessarily believe that there are little green men running around anywhere near our solar system, but like when single-celled organisms are found, you know, in like alive, like actively alive, I mean that's going to be just the biggest leap in scientific discovery in the history of mankind.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
it just
it'd be
tells you
bacteria.
more about what can develop where.
Yeah. I'd say at a minimum bacteria for sure. Anything that's living like that. I mean, obviously we all started there somewhere probably.
Matt, didn't you read Andromeda Strain?
Yeah, I did. That was a really long time ago.
It's a good book, by the way. You should read it. And yes, I'd be ecstatic if we
Plastic
found.
eating bacteria.
I would be ecstatic if we found anything of the sort.
Now,
just
if we
be
found something that was
revolutionary.
like super alive and looked like the Predator and was an alien from outer space, then I might be
That would be like pants pooping territory.
I don't even care. I'm
Just-
like so happy to be alive at that point. Like I'm about to die, right? But like for that moment, like I'm alive to witness this. Out of all of human history, I am alive for the Predator to kill us all and remove my spine.
out of all of human history, there were a select few people who got to witness being on the Titanic too.
That's a good point.
not everybody died on the Titanic.
I've heard some people talk about extraterrestrial life as if there are life forms out there that are able to travel the galaxy at light speed and able to have all of this technology, that they are so much more superior to us as human beings that if they are flying by, they're flying by on essentially a galactic interstate, and we are ants in comparison. And we have no comprehension of what
I mean,
is going on around us.
That's one of the schools of thought, and one of the things that is like brought up as why it's scary, right? Is that if you're inconsequential to them, if we are viewed like we view ants, you don't care about stepping on the anthill.
Right.
So
One day.
Well, because it doesn't matter if you step on the anthill, because you know that the majority of their infrastructure is below ground. So.
No, that's not the. I don't like thinking of it that way, Matt. I like thinking of it more like as in.
I mean, I didn't say I liked thinking about it.
No. Think about like a mouse, the smartest mouse ever, sees a roller coaster park, right? It cannot
Is
comprehend.
this the mouse from that one where he rides the motorcycle?
Flowers for Algernon.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's the mouse from
Like-
Mouse.
Basically, if we encountered a species that was like that was so advanced, they would appear as gods. Like we would not understand their level of being. It works both ways. It's not just like we're ants to them. It's more like they're gods to us. We can't even understand how they We don't even understand what their reality is like.
We're like
Thor.
the little green men in Toy Story in the claw game that are like, ew.
The Fermi paradox is like the most scary thing about
I agree.
space.
Yeah.
It's like we can't be alone because statistically that's impossible. But if we're not alone, where are all the things, right? Like that is horrifying.
So far spread out both in time and space.
Well, and the fact that we'll never see another civilization because it's rapidly expanding.
I mean,
if we haven't seen anyone by now, we never will.
just think about the human history, and if somebody pointed a radio telescope at Earth, it's only been in the last 100 years that they would even see anything. In the entirety of Earth's history, you only have this small fraction of a window in which you'd be like, there's a lot of weird EM signals coming from that place, right? Like, and because that is how we would detect another advanced civilization, is electromagnetic fields in some sort of pattern. And it's like, somebody somewhere at some point in time maybe existed that had technological capability of detecting that, and we were quiet.
Like a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
I mean, literally, yes.
Or it's going to be somebody so far in the future because they live 53 billion years from us.
Right.
Years from us.
I mean, by the time anybody hears this anyway, we're dead. I mean, the sun eats Earth or whatever, right?
We're not just dead; we're literally deleted because, that's what a black hole would do. I mean,
right. It's gone, nothingness.
Like our matter is literally unrecognizable anymore.
Yeah. I think really at the end of the day, you just have to remember that life is pointless and
and all that matters are Doritos, Cool Ranch tacos.
I'm not ready.
Target red card.
You caught me off guard. I'm sorry.
And I think with this, the council meeting is now adjourned.
Good.
And if you liked what you saw and want to check out all past episodes of the CouncilCast, you can go to councilcast.org. All podcasts are recorded live on YouTube weekly, but you can also find audio files on YouTube or on iTunes as well. And if you have a topic you'd like the council's decision on, you can email us at councilcast@gmail.com or connect on Twitter at the CouncilCast or Facebook by searching CouncilCast.
As a final note, life is pain. Eat Arby's.
Goodbye.